Over the past 2 years, I've built a social media content agency, a YouTube agency, and also worked exclusively with a multi-7-figure sales consultant to build his content. Now, I've worked with some of the biggest names in fitness and business, helping them generate maximum leads with minimum input. Now, why am I making this video? Because content has changed. We can't do things the same way we did last year or the year before. People are going to hire all the wrong people. They're going to build a team in a way where they're wasting money on the wrong editing styles or wrong strategy. So if you're looking to piss your money down the drain, then you can click off this video now, because I wouldn't want to waste your time. But if you are confused, you don't know who to hire, if anyone at all, then this is the video for you. Because if you're making 5k to 25k, 25k to 100k or more, this video is going to help you understand how to build a super lean team to save on cost and get the most out of your content team in 2025. Now, one thing you might be thinking straight off the bat is, well, why don't I just use an agency? How can I utilize an agency that could do it all for you? Because that's what I do at the end of the day. I have an agency that will script, plan, film, literally do everything for you so you don't have to lift a finger. But I know some business owners, they want to build a team where they can get the most out of someone's time, and they can build that team that can make 10, 15 posts a day. Now, that is the ideal, and that is what I would aim for. Now, I've consulted with a lot of the biggest names like Dan Martell, Iman Gadzhi, and all of these people. And there's a few things that I notice about some of the people that build the biggest brands, and that is that they hire in-house and they nurture their talent. They build leaders within their creative team. So, here's the plan, here's how you need to do it, all laid out for you. Let's get into it. So as you can see, we've got 3 brackets here. We've got 5k to 25k, 25k to 100k, and then 100k plus. Here is what we do. Now, before we actually discuss who to hire, how much to pay, and what they should do on their KPIs, let's talk about how I've set this up. Now, this isn't how I would set up. If you want the absolute best of the best content system, there's a part 2 to this video, and that will cover how to set up your content team as a production line. So what do I mean by a production line? I've got a system in ClickUp where we manage, we go from idea, scripting, and everyone has their steps. So it's a step-by-step process. Now, the higher up you go in the revenue brackets, the more particular you are about one person doing each step. Now, can you imagine a factory now? Let's say we're making a pie, like a steak and ale pie, right? But like a factory built one. Imagine each step of the process. There'll be a machine that, mixes the flour, and then that flour is mixed, and then there's another machine that then cures the dough or something. I don't really know how to make a pie, but let's say you've got there's a few machines that make the base. Imagine that 1 or 2 of those people don't know what they're doing, or you've hired the wrong, or you've built the wrong machine. Imagine that base is really doughy and it's like not a great base. They say about making a pie, if you've got a shit base, then what doesn't matter what you put in it, it's just shit. The way I like to think of it is, actually imagine a big factory production line, and each person, you've got like social media manager, long form editor, short form editor, creative director. Everyone has their bit that comes in, right? If one of them is faulty, the whole end product, which is the final video, is rubbish. So I like to think of it as a production line. Imagine a factory production line. So what I've built here is a little bit different, but it's a simple, like, if you're making in these brackets and you don't have a content team, this is the fastest and most cost-effective way to build a lean team that you can then scale into a full-blown production. Now, part 2 will focus on that full-blown production line, what it looks like, how you build things into a system, and where the approval is. Because there's sections where the CEO is triggered for a meeting if something goes wrong. There's a whole system around this, and I'll show you that in ClickUp in part 2. But let's start now with those of you making 5k per month. If you're making between 5k and 25k, this is what you need. Now, what we've got here is you are at the top, right? So you're even up to here. You're still involved in the content process. So here, as you can see, as you go up, your responsibilities get less and less because you don't have the time. If you're making 100k per month building funnels for people, you haven't got time to be answering comments on your Instagram. So let's start here. if you're building this in-house and you're not hiring an agency, and I'll talk about why you might want to build it in-house in a second, this is how you do it at 5k per month. So you are sat at the top. Imagine you're the king of the content. This is your page. You need to manage basically all of it. So what you do are the following things. So you're going to manage the system. So the system could be on ClickUp or however you use it, Trello, however you decide to manage your content. You come up with the ideas, right? So you're doing the content research. So you're basically saying, I want to film this, and then you film it yourself. So at this point, you're also doing the videography. The reason you're doing the videography, so you're also doing the videography, and if you don't have a fancy camera, you're just going to have to use your phone, because you're only making 5k per month, so you can't afford to hire a videographer, plus all the editors you need. So you're managing the system, meaning you're managing the people, and making sure the content is done on time and stuff like that. You're coming up with the ideas. When an editor edits a video for you, you're going to approve and review and add like comments for revision. You're going to manage the social, so you're also your own social media manager, right? You're managing the socials on Instagram or YouTube or whatever it is, and you're filming yourself, right? So you're basically managing everything, and what you're doing then is hiring a video editor underneath you, where you've already filmed everything, you've put it all into the system, it's all uploaded onto Frame.io, Google Drive or whatever, and then you're sending that to a video editor who is going to work on a freelance basis. So at 5k per month, you can't afford to pay an editor $2,500 a month, right, to edit videos for you full time, because that's half your turnover. That's not even profit. So there's going to be there's a high chance you're going to have to sack that editor, because you just don't have, if you have a slower month, any less than this, and you can't afford to pay the guy or girl. So this is what the video editor would be responsible for, basically everything. So this video is focusing on mainly like long form on YouTube, short form Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. We're not talking about LinkedIn or email or anything like that, because at 5k per month, you want to keep it simple. So let's say you're a fitness coach or you're a business owner. I'd recommend 2025 YouTube, Instagram, and just those two as your main, maybe LinkedIn as well, but I'm not covering that in this video. So we've got long form, that's what they're responsible for. We've also got short form, trimming, and graphics. So when it comes to editing, I could hire 12 editors. One person does initial trim, one person does the color grade, one person does adding B-roll, graphics. But for you, you have one video editor that does everything. One video editor for YouTube, short form, everything. Now this is how you pay that video editor. You're going to pay them per video. As I said, if you're making $5,000 a month, you can't hire someone at $2,500 a month, right? So you pay them per video. I think probably £125, $125 for a YouTube edit if you want a decent one. And then this is about $30 or $25 for a short form edit. So you're looking at $1,000 a month, which is actually quite a lot if you think about how much you're making. But people are too tight with their budgets. Honestly, you need to be putting more money into content anyway, so just pay them that. You've got that video editor, but that video editor, you don't want to pay somebody a premium to then add more. And what you could do is either, there's two options here. Option one is don't hire a VA, and once they've done that, it comes back to you for approval, and then you do all the posting. But from my experience, posting content is such a low leverage task, and if you're at 5k per month, you haven't got the time. You're not delegating too much, you're doing all of it yourself. So a VA is a really affordable way to save time when it comes to content production, because you can hire a VA from the Philippines for $3 an hour. They can spend 10 hours a week literally just writing captions for you, ChatGPT captions if they have to, and scheduling across platforms. Because honestly, scheduling the same posts on Instagram, TikTok, Shorts, and then YouTube, and then adding the titles, thumbnails, everything like that. Also, one thing I forgot to say here is this guy is going to do thumbnails as well. So you're going to get a well-rounded editor from Upwork or Fiverr. And then you're going to pay them per project, and you're going to pay them probably per video, and then maybe pay them like $10 for a thumbnail. So that might be added on top of here. So that will probably be $1,040 per month total. So I hope that makes sense. Now, if you're at $5,000 per month, you can see how much you have to do. This is the bulk of the work, right? You pay, and what we're going to do now as we go through the different price brackets, different revenue brackets, is delegate these. right? Because this is half a full-time job here already. But as a new business owner making £5 per month, that's what you're doing. You're basically running multiple full-time jobs and doing it all yourself, because that's what you have to do in the early stages. So I hope that makes sense. So you manage a video editor, and then you manage the VA. Then you could get the video editor to manage the VA, but you don't want them to spend time doing that because they might try and bill you for it. Now, once you hit that 25k mark, you're kind of answering comments is okay, but things like videography, setting up a camera, you've got a good few clients now. You know your business works. You validated your offer and everything worked well. So now you need to really level up the content. You're not just thinking about quantity anymore and getting it done. You're thinking about strategy. So here's what you do. You put more time into the ideation, right? This is a priority here. You're going to spend a lot more time coming up with ideas, and you're still going to be there for approval and review, and you're going to be answering comments because you're still heavy on sales. 25k per month is still kind of getting started. You now have a 5-person team, including you. Now, this is where things get a little bit more interesting, and this is where you get more excited about it because you have a bigger team that works together, right? So you have a videographer that you'll come up with the ideas, you'll plan in a filming date, and then you pay a videographer a day rate, right? So you film once per month. You just have a whole day where you film 4 YouTube videos and 30 reels, or whatever it is, 30 posts, and you pay them $500 for their time, and then they give you the raw footage back. So what they would do then is upload all the raw footage into your file management software, and then the trimmer would come in. So I mentioned this in a reel recently. There's a few different types of editors you can hire. You've got animators, motion designers, senior editors, junior editors, trimmers. There's so many different types. And the reason I like to separate them is because what you might do is hire a really senior editor, but you don't need that. So what you're doing then is paying them $5 a month when you could be paying somebody $800 a month that can just do simple edits, right? So we have a videographer, junior editor, trimmer, and a VA. The junior editor replaces this video editor, right? But this now is a little bit of a better editor, and you can maximize on time. So you're actually going to pay them a salary of $3,000 a month. Now, you're paying them, that might seem like a lot to you, but this person is a little bit more qualified than this person. But it's not doing, because trimming, I don't know if you've ever trimmed clips. So imagine filming a 2-hour podcast, trimming that up. That can take you 4 to 6 hours. You don't want, if you're paying somebody a salary, you don't want them to be spending all day trimming content, and they haven't even started on things like text animation, B-roll, graphics. So that's what this editor is going to do. So I'm separating the easy but time-consuming editing tasks from the high-leverage, more senior editing tasks. So this is why this footage goes into this guy or girl. You're going to pay almost like a VA. You're going to find a VA, $8 an hour, show them how to trim videos really easily, and if you hire a junior editor, that person will train the trimmer. So you have almost like a second VA, but a more premium VA, like a video editor from Fiverr or Upwork from the Philippines or India or Pakistan. They can do 20 hours of trimming per week at $640 a month. Now, you see how there's an editor here at $3,000 and one at $640, but this is most of the time, I think. This is just as much time as this is. So what you do then is you get the videographer, uploads all of the raw files, that then goes to the trimmer in your content management, project management software. They then organize the raw files, download it to their hard drive, add it into a Premiere Pro project, trim it all up, and then what you do, like if you're using Premiere Pro, you can create a team project. So they then will add the junior editor into the Premiere Pro project, and then he goes in and it's all there trimmed up for him. Now we're building efficiency here. You see how one part of the production process is finished and now it gets assigned to the next person. So this now editor comes in, assuming that this has been done well, he can immediately start on adding in things like text titles. So if there's a new title, or transitions, animations, music, sound effects, all of the rest of the edit right to completion. Now, same thing happens again. Once that's done, it comes back to you for approval review, because you're still doing this, right? You're still doing the approval and review. And then once again, we have the VA now down here. So this is your team at 25 to 100k per month. You're doing ideation still. Now, when we get to 100k, you shouldn't be coming up with your own ideas. You need to be building a team. And this can go on. Like, we could make one for 200k per month where it's like a 15-person team. Now, I will go over that in part 2, but one thing I've realized is people don't know this stuff. They're not sure. They think they just need one editor. So this might already seem like quite a lot of people to you, but it is a lean team. People like Dan Martell, Alex Hormozy, the way these people hire, like Alex Hormozy spends 35 grand a month in just his team. He has multiple videographers, many different camera angles, and that is something, a high level production that I will go over in another video. But let's say now you've hit 100k per month, or close to that, 80k, you know, whatever you feel warrants the money. And now what we've done is what have we outsourced here? So we had ideation, answering comments. Those are quite time-consuming tasks that you shouldn't be doing as a 100k per month CEO. So what you're still doing is the approval review, because you haven't got a leader within your business to manage a content team yet. So what we're doing here at this stage is offloading the ideation, and answering comments goes to this person. There we go. So now what you've added in here, instead of having just an editor, a videographer, editor, sorry, there should be a videographer in here as well. So this is what it looks like at 100k plus per month. Now, I've done it straight down, you notice. This is just to show you the different roles. Now, what I want to do is like flip this on its head in part 2 and show you the production line, who goes into what, how it all fits into each other, and I'll show you ClickUp as well. So right now we have you, and all you do is approve and review. So for example, what you have is the social media manager comes up with ideas, says this is the plan for next month. This is what I want to do, this is why, this is what's working, trends, blah, 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 YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. Then you have a 15-minute meeting, so the social media manager will book a meeting in based on your calendar, either with your EA or VA, whoever manages your time. Then you will basically go over and say, good idea, blah, 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 approval/review meeting, right? Ideation review meeting. Now, once that's done, it goes back into social media manager. They then plan the video, script different videos, plan the filming, and the social media manager will organize a filming date based on your calendar and the videographer availability. So that again is a $500 per month day rate. Either that's option 1 actually. There is 2 options here. Now, either you do it like that, or where you hire them at £2,500, sorry, excuse me, we'll do, that's dollars, $2,500 a month. The difference here, it depends how dedicated you are to your content, right? You could do it like this, where they just come and they film the content, but what's missing there is B-roll. As a 100k per month CEO, where are you going? What are you doing? You're going to be at events all over the world probably. You might be in Marbella, Dubai. You need someone with you, right? Your social media manager, they could be remote. You never know. It depends how you want to build. I recommend building an office team, not remote. But your editor's your editor. These are your editors, your VAs. I would recommend either doing it like this, having a videographer do that, do 1 day a month and you just film, or 1 day every other week, which costs you £1,000 a month, or pay them this and then they get the opportunity to travel the world with you, but you have to pay for that as well, film everything, and then what you have a whole additional batch of content and the editors can work through that, the trimmer can look through it, the social media manager then has more work to do that. So that's like $1,800 plus $2,500. Then you have a senior editor at $4,000 a month. Now, your content at this point is leveling up, right? So this editor, what are they doing? We still have the trimmer, exact same thing, $8 an hour, 20 hours a week, $640 a month. But and there again, same thing. But instead of having a junior editor, which is a good editor, but you get them at a discount price, you've now got a really experienced senior editor replacing that junior editor, because you have this team now. So that senior editor is focused on higher level graphics, B-roll. They can get more done in less time, and they're more executive. They understand how to edit for Instagram, understand how to edit for YouTube. Because imagine having a videographer film the videos, and then you've got an editor editing and a social media manager managing, you're paying all these salaries. But what if the editor edits it and it's just like it doesn't fit the platform? So a junior editor knows how Premiere Pro works. A senior editor knows how Premiere Pro works, but also understands how people edit on YouTube. It's like an executive editor that understands the landscape of video edits. That's the difference here. That's what's really important. So you have your videographer. I'd recommend going this route at this point, but if you want, like for example, you could do that and then you could have a B-roll day and maybe hire a videographer if you go away somewhere. And I would probably, when you get to 250, 300k per month, hire a videographer or team of videographers in-house. Now, I know people like Alex Samosi would have a videographer everywhere with him, but he doesn't go anywhere. So that's how this works. Again, you have your VA, you have your trimmer, you have your senior editor, a videographer, which you'd probably pay day rate, and a social media manager, and you would be left just with the approval review. Now, after this, what you would probably do is hire either a creative manager or a creative director. I would hire a creative director. Now, this person is a leader. At the moment, you are head of content, head of production, head of everything, head of strategy. But you'd hire a creative director who is much better than you at all of this. That you'd keep the social media manager. That social media manager would replace the VA. You now get rid of this VA. The social media manager is now managing the system, managing your page, answering comments, really highly trained in that, in the client facing side, making sure everything's optimized for the platforms. You hire a creative director, and that person will do the content research, but also when you get to 250, 300k per month, you're at a point where you're almost looking to get on podcasts, go and meet people. So you're looking for collabs. So that person will then reach out to another business owner and say, oh, look, this guy's doing X. We'd love to collab and do a podcast. You know, can I contact your team about this and blah, blah, blah. So they would be actually out there actively searching for high yielding content opportunities. So if this video was helpful, please give it a like and share it with someone you think it would benefit. Whatever content you'd like to see on my page, please comment it down below, because this is a brand new page. I'm trying to help businesses with their editing processes and also storytelling techniques they can use on YouTube to grow their brands and get more leads. So let me know what you want to see, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.